Often we speak of the subject of meditation as the process by which you quiet your mind, thereby distracting yourself from the confusion or the clutter of resistance. When you quiet your mind, you stop thought. And when you stop thought, you stop resistance. And when you stop resistance, you allow your vibrational frequency to raise. So for years we've been saying that we encourage meditation as a sort of timeout, as a sort of neutral zone where your vibrational pull, where law of attraction is not serving up to you so much that's been active, because in the time of quieting your mind, nothing is active. Recently, we've been saying to our physical friends who are coming to these gatherings that if you accept the reality of this vortex and you begin to consider that every day, at least once, the vortex will take you in, because you can't hold yourself in vibrational resistance to a current that is that strong constantly. You just can't. You got to sleep. You'll be caught at a weak moment. And by a weak moment, we mean a moment when you're distracted from the things that have been holding you out of the vortex. So the vortex takes you in and takes you in and takes you in. Now, usually the moment you come to your senses and you come right back out. That's what you mean when you say, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. In the moment that you begin feeling good about something, most of you who are not accustomed to feeling good about something begin to then consider the other side of it almost immediately. So the vortex takes you in, you sort of feel unfamiliar in there, and out you go. But the thing that we're saying to you is the vortex takes you in, it takes you in, it takes you in many times in every day. So now we've been saying to you that if you will be aware that the vortex is taking you in, and suddenly you find yourself feeling a little more exhilaration about something than usual, if you will stop and consciously acknowledge, I must be in a moment of non-resistance, I must be in the vortex, and then you will try to milk the moment just for a little bit. Don't think too hard, because if you think too hard, the vortex will kick you out. But just feel the feeling of it. Feel the ease of it. The words for Esther were ease and flow, ease and flow. The comfort, the ease and flow. What you will begin to notice is that you can, from inside the vortex, begin practicing the vibration of it. And as you begin to practice the vibration of it a little more in every day, what happens is your overall mean or average along this emotional scale begins to move into less resistant vibrational frequency until it begins to feel more natural for you to be in that good feeling state. Now, you've heard, if you've been listening to us at all, and many of you have, you've heard all of that before. But what we want to say to you now is something that is new and powerful. And as you digest it, it's going to serve you and show you through your own personal example exactly what we're talking about, because words don't teach. It's only life experience that teaches. We want you to consider this concept. And those of you who've been in the chair already here today, this is especially for you because you queued this up. As you relax with an attitude of focusing on your breathing, and you don't need this new meditation CD to do it. It will help you, but focus on your breathing. It will help you to quiet your mind. As you focus on your breathing with some intention of holding some rhythm, your mind will be quieted and you will move into the vortex. Now, if you are able to sustain that absence of resistance for a little while, what's going to begin to happen to you is, since you're now in the vortex, thoughts are going to begin to materialize from inside the vortex. Jerry and Esther have been meditating for years, and specifically with our encouragement every day for the last about 60 days. And a few days ago, while they were lying on the bed, both meditating and both focusing on their breathing, and both entered the vortex where a whole stream of conscious thought rendezvoused with them. And they were individually and collectively transported into conversations and ideas that were thrilling to each of them. And then the music stopped, and it was quiet for a minute. And Jerry said to Esther, "Was your mind quiet?" And Esther said, "No." "Was yours?" And Jerry said, "No." And then they said to each other, "What happened to us?" And we said, "The manifestation from inside the vortex begins like that." In other words, the thoughts begin to come. A rampage of thoughts, an avalanche of thoughts, of good feeling thoughts. You find yourself intoxicated. It's like feeding at a buffet where everything there is so delicious. You just can't decide which thing to put in your mouth next. The thought buffet from inside the vortex. So what we're saying to you is meditation begins to take on a whole new understanding when you meditated to get in the vortex, but once in the vortex, the mind of the vortex, which is the mind of your source, which is the coalesced, which is the gathered, which is the unfolding of that which is coming, is revealed to you, or you are experiencing the revelation of. In other words, that's what you're reaching for. You're reaching for the insight from inside the vortex. But so as we visit with those like you, we're having two different conversations depending upon where you are. We're having the conversation of how to get in the vortex, which is quieting your mind, and then we're having the conversation of letting your mind go wild with the thoughts that are in the vortex. For Jerry and Esther, they knew without question what had happened to them, because the rampage of thoughts that were flowing, different thoughts for each of them, but in that high-flying, good-feeling place, there was no question as they commented together and chewed it over with us that what they had experienced was the materialization of ideas from inside the vortex. In other words, the meditative process had tuned them to the frequency of that higher knowing, and they stayed there long enough that they were then be able to articulate through vision, through knowing, through the thought process, the fuller version of that. Are you following us? In other words, we want you to feel the tangibleness of this vortex. We no longer want it to be just that spot on the floor that Abraham is pointing at. We want you to understand that it is a vibrational state of being that will reveal to you at first just ideas that are pleasing to ponder, but eventually ideas that are so full of interest and intrigue that you will be compelled into action. You will get insights about things. You'll have ideas for book titles. You'll have ideas for book subjects. Whole visions of artistic things will flow to you. Songs will be downloaded to you while you're in the vortex. You'll see the face of your lover. You'll know where your lover is. You'll know where to go. You'll know what to do. You'll feel the well-being of your planet. In other words, when you get into the vortex, the fullness of that which you've been asking for is revealed to you. And it's no wonder that when you're not in the vortex, it feels like you've got your feet stuck in the mud. You get a sense of what we're talking about? This is a vibrational conversation we're having to vibrational beings who have the ability to quiet your mind and therefore deactivate the thoughts and vibrations that have been preventing you from being in the vibrational state of being, where you can translate the energy and manifest it into the fullness of all that you've come. You're master creators, and it's time for you to go into your vortex where all masters dwell and create from the vortex where all magnificent creation comes from. We're very excited about what's coming for you because you have been parlaying this vortex, your individual vortex, into something that is magnificent. And it's time for you to lay claim to the vibrational frequency so that you can have the thrill and the fun of the revelation. And the reason that we are calling it a revelation is because until you're translating it, it is not revealed to you. In other words, it's not that there is this manifestation sitting over there that you're just going to stumble your way to, and then you'll be able to behold it, sort of like walking into a room. You have a vibrational frequency that you must achieve. And that really has been our message to you from the beginning. As we talk about the 3-step process, step 1 is ask. Well, you've been doing that. Step 2 is source answers by gathering the vortex, by gathering the vibrational frequencies, by putting everything that you call future manifestation into a tangible, manageable space where you can find it. And step 3 is you got to get in the vortex. You've got to tune yourself to the frequency of the vortex. You've got to go there often enough that it's familiar. And you've got to seek the ease and flow and joy and love and fulfillment and friskiness and confidence and worthiness and good feelings that are in the vortex. And if you go seeking that emotional state of being, it is our promise to you that the ideas will begin to occur to you, and you will feel the hitting it out of the ballpark sensation as the idea does occur to you, because you will be in the vortex where you can finally translate your treasures into something that is meaningful for you. And this is not just metaphysical mumbo jumbo. We're not just talking to you about this spiritual based universe that is based upon this powerful law of attraction. We're talking about you putting yourself in the mindset where things occur to you, but things are not just coming as ideas. Everything that is necessary to back up every idea will then come too. So you could potentially get yourself into the vortex so frequently that you are walking around in the frequency of the vortex most of the time. And what would that mean? That would mean just like you are rendezvousing with the ideas from inside your vortex, now you're walking down the street and the person who is the one who holds the key to something rendezvous with you. You're standing on a street corner, you look at each other, and there is a knowing, there is a compelling, there is a let's have a drink together conversation, and there is an unfolding of something meaningful to you. And when you look back on it, you'll say it was as if something broader than both of us was orchestrating this coming together. And we say something broader was. It's the vortex. And when you get in it, you'll begin to find the power and what those outside the vortex will call the magic of the vortex. We have enjoyed this interaction more than words can say. It is exhilarating to come together with such an intense group of people with such powerful desires. You have put so much into your vortex, and it is exhilarating to us to feel the power of your vortex calling you. As we visit with you, bit by bit, offering a word here, a concept here, demanding from you through our antics an inordinate amount of your attention, encouraging your attention and therefore vibrational alignment with that resonant source that is within you. We notice that you've been practicing that in the vortex vibration. And what that means is when you're out, you're going to notice it more. And when you're in, you're going to be more aware of it. We believe that we've convinced you of the validity of this vibrational reality. And we believe that we've convinced you that your inner being stands within that vortex. And we are eager about the days that are before you, as we watch you, little by little, acknowledging, oh, I'm in the vortex, and then doing what you can to stay there and practice the vibration of it just a little longer. The people who know you, who've been watching you, some of them are in the vortex and some of them aren't. But without exception, everyone who knows you will be aware that a vibrational shift has taken place within you today. Because your mood will be elevated and your manifestations will be abundant. The most significant thing that we want you to focus upon is just how much better you feel. You're going to feel, just as a result of this conversation that you've participated with us today, you're going to feel an edginess lifting off of you. You're going to feel more tuned to the frequency of your source. It won't last unless you practice it.